Welcome to the Tea with Tamara Podcast. I'm Tamara Arnold, and it wasn't that long ago that I was a broke single mom, drinking way too much, completely detached from everything. Now I've written multiple books, downloaded I Could Read Chakras, and I'm a channel for the universe. I'm a real person with real stories, and I can't wait to share them with you. So grab a warm bevy, and let's have some enlightened conversation to live our best life. Happy Magical Monday, friends. Today is a pretty big energetic day. It was the super blood moon yesterday, or it rose last night here in Canada. And so this seems like a perfect time to talk about protecting ourselves from bigger energies. Now, you don't even have to have intuitive gifts or be an empath or a healer or psychic in any way to feel the effects of a moon. And a moon like the one that just passed, which really does, I always say to my family, I'm like, you guys are all empaths at a full moon. You all feel it. Everybody gets a little bit different, right? Everybody is affected in a different way. And so today I wanted to touch upon what to do to protect yourself from energies that may or may not be wanted or warranted inside of you, and what it was like for me when I became an awakened empath, because there's a difference between being an empath and an awakened empath. Well, let me tell you, because for most of my life, I didn't know what I was. I was just super sensitive. I used to say I was a sponge. I just absorbed other people's feelings because I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. And for most of my life, my spirituality was turned off. I wasn't allowing in everything that the universe had to offer me. And so I was pretty, what's the word I want to say, dialed down in terms of what I was receiving anyway. But when I opened myself up fully to my spiritual side and became an energy reader and really embraced all that the universe had for me, man, oh man, did I go through some serious discomforts. So, as you could probably guess, an empath and a highly sensitive tend to be affected by the things outside, like the physical senses as it is. But when you are awakening, everything that you're thinking, feeling, emoting, thinking about, coming in contact with, seeing with your eyes, hearing with your ears is heightened to an extreme, like an extreme. So what would be a normal sensation feels like it is ballooned up into the most intense feeling you've ever had. And when you're looking at things or smelling things, it's like, these are beautiful. They're not just beautiful, they're just so beautiful. Like, it's extreme. And so when I first came into my awakened state, at first I found it really beautiful and really, like, just absolutely stunning. Like, going for a walk was like all encompassing. Like, the tree leaves, they could stop and stare at them. They were mesmerizing, the colors and the way that they moved in the wind, and how each like vein of the leaf was so distinct, and all of these incredible things I had never noticed before, and the way it all sounded, and it felt like the trees were speaking to me. And if I was driving and it was snowing like it is today, and the snowflakes would be hitting the windshield, and I could see each individual pattern on each snowflake, and I was like, whoa, this is insane. Like, I have never noticed how beautiful and different and unique each flake is. And so it really was an overpowering of my senses, if you will. And so that felt really good, but really overwhelming, very tiring in the first few months that I was experiencing it. And not only that, but I truly had this yearning and this desire to make a difference and change people's lives and like really step further and further into this. And I used to cry at my kitchen table and say, like, I just want to help so many people. Why can't I do it faster? Why can't I get into the houses and homes of all the people and make them feel good and help them find their stardust? And like weeping would happen. And so I started to do all the research. I started to ask everybody, what do I do? What do I do to not feel so much, or to have this extreme sensory overload? And I had a lot of people that were coming out of the woodwork to help me. But the fact of the matter is, there's one really big secret to everything, to life, in my opinion. And I'm going to drop it like it's hot for you guys all right here, right in this moment. And I was seeking for somebody to tell me what I needed to do with my gift, with my body, with my senses. And there is nobody, friends, nobody in this world who knows your body and your emotional state and your gifts like you do. And so it wasn't until somewhere, someone, or I just physically had the knowing that if I really wanted to know how to protect myself, not be overwhelmed with my senses, have some control over my weeping because of wanting the desire to, save the world was so extreme, and I wanted to be able to be a functioning human in an external world and not be so overwhelmed, I knew that the answer had to come from somewhere else. It couldn't come from somebody telling me what I needed to do. It really did have to come from me asking myself, my body, my inner being, and my knowing what I needed to do. And so what I've learned over this time is that we will actually have a physical response, a visceral response, a vibration that will occur when we hear or see or feel something that is for us. Especially if you are, spiritually gifted in any way and you are connecting to yourself. So like if you were to take a deep breath right now, and just even imagine putting your hand on your stomach or placing it there and bringing your awareness into your body, just behind where your hand is. You can put it on your heart, you can put it on your solar plexus, so your stomach, or you can put it a little lower on your sacral, right at the pubic bone. And what I want to do is bring this awareness to you having the perception to hear me offer you a few different ways that you can protect yourself if you are an awakened empath, or even if you are highly sensitive, if you have, intuition, and sometimes you are unsure of what you're feeling as being real. If you're psychic, if you or any of the clair audio, like clairs in general, I'm going to offer you a few different ways that you can protect yourself right now. And I just want you to connect with yourself so that you can see if any of these vibrate with you, if they feel like a way that you can, be able to handle large crowds, going out to the grocery store without being exhausted, to be able to come home and remain energetic for the rest of the day. And so one of the ways that I have discovered I work best is that I needed to think of my gift because I can feel other people's energies at a very deep level. I can connect with basically any feeling that they're having, physical, emotional, spiritual. Sometimes I get visions. Sometimes I can smell things or hear things. It's a very powerful thing. And so I really had to learn quickly what to do to be a social butterfly, how I could extrovert and not want to hide in my house all the time, right? And so the best way that I find that I can control my gift is that I imagine that I am a volume dial on a receiver, like on the big machine that's connected to all of your technical equipment. My husband, if he heard me talking like this, would be mortified because he loves all technical equipment. But the big receiver with the volume dial. I volume dial up when I'm in a conversation with those I love. So if I'm at home and I'm having a conversation with my husband or my kids, I can dial them up and I can allow in their thoughts, feelings, and emotions and connect with them at that level so that the conversation is heightened for me, which is wonderful. I enjoy it. It also helps me, be a better mother and wife. And then I dial down when I just need to replenish and restore. But what do I do if we're all at a restaurant together, right? What do we do when we're in a crowd or a concert or at an event and people are trying to talk to me and I want to connect with them in that way? That's when I actually have to visualize the piece of equipment in a sound booth that has all the different little dials on them, right? If I can just imagine everyone had their own dial, then I can visually tune up the one of the person I'm talking to, and as when the conversation shifts or changes, I can dial them down and dial up another person and just keep that energy flowing and let everybody else that is around me, all their dials stay down. So I'm in perfect control of whom I'm investing in energetically and whom I'm not. And that works really, really well for me. Now, the other one that I like to do, and sometimes I just do this in the moment, but I know a lot of people who hold this for realsies as being something that they stay in, is like a glass tube that comes down from the universe, from the sky, from above, and it just kind of comes over your body. And as it's, coming past your head and your shoulders and your torso to the ground, it's basically cutting all cords of attachment. So you have this clean slate feeling to you, and you know that you're not attached to anyone else. So you can kind of get your bearings, and you can stay in there as long as you need to. So if you're in a crowd and you start to notice that things are being a little overwhelming and maybe you didn't protect yourself before you went out, or you just kind of weren't thinking about it, because in the beginning you tend to have to think about it, and then eventually it just auto-tunes. That's what I think of it, right? Like I don't have to even imagine myself doing any of these things. I've been doing it for so long. It's that, all these dials are just automatically doing what they need to do. And I can be in that comfort state of knowing. But you can leave this tube around you, and you can be again in control of what you come in. So you can say, I please allow like good vibrations to enter this tube and to exit this tube, but don't let anything else that I wouldn't want in here. And you can just kind of stay in a safe container, and then when you want, you can just send it back up. So that's another one that I have used, and I know other people have used. I do hang around a lot of Reiki practitioners and energy readers, and they often find that washing their hands is a great eliminator of energy that isn't serving them anymore or isn't theirs. And so they'll wash their hands frequently. You might find that this rings true for you if you are somebody who enjoys showering. It feels like a showering is like very cleansing, like cleansing to the place of like, oh, I feel like a new person when I get out of the shower, because you've washed away other people's energy like a film off of your body. And so you might be somebody who wakes up every single morning and resets themselves that way, or does it at night. And some people do a shower in the morning and the evening, and that's just the way that they keep their energy as clear as they possibly can, because water is in essence a cleanser. And so it feels really protective and really good for them. Oftentimes they tend to meditate in the shower, but that's a different thing altogether. And another way, the fourth way is the bubble, right? And we've all heard of this example where you can actually encase yourself into a bubble. Like, I always think of, have you ever watched the YouTube video where people are playing soccer and they're running at each other and they're in those big bouncy things and they like bounce off each other and they can't get back up? It's kind of funny. Well, this is the same kind of idea. And you can imagine it being a bubble of light, and you can put whatever color is soothing or therapeutic for you, and it's like a cell membrane. It's not like a hard shell. We don't want to like not have a transference of energy from us to somebody else. That doesn't create great relationships. So a nice cell membrane where, again, you're in control of what goes in to you receiving and what goes out for you giving, and you can choose to allow no negative thoughts, feelings, or emotions to be able to get in to permeate your heart center, your essence, your vibrational being. And so these are 4 of the most commonly used protection agents against, taking in other people's emotions, taking in too much hypersensitivity, taking in sound, senses, anything that's overwhelming. I do a lot of like cord cutting in the moment. Sometimes I pretend I'm scratching the top of my head and like chop down my arm if somebody's saying something that is like, oh, I don't want that. That's like my ninja thing that I do, but it's kind of noticeable when you're chopping your hands in front of you like I'm doing right now that you can't see. And another way that I secretly have a fascination for, and I don't think it's real, but I want it to be real, is I am totally in love with the movies The Kingsman, and they have some pretty rockin' stellar umbrellas, and like they like when something is happening, there's like whoosh, and they put this umbrella open and it protects them from everything. It doesn't matter. And then it also shoots things, all the things from it. And it's so handy, and it does protect from the rain as well. So sometimes I think if you have the capacity to make an accessory or a garment like a cloak or, you know, a jacket or something protect you as well, that's okay. It really is truly about finding what it is that resonates with you. And the big game changer, guys, the one thing that I want to leave with you is that you will decide for yourself. And that's why I said to tune in and allow what I'm saying to kind of be a visceral response or feel the vibrational connection to some of the words, because what somebody else is doing isn't the right thing for you just by them saying, oh, I do this, so you should do this too. Really allow yourself and your energy to feel in. Have a nice communication with yourself over what feels like the best way to protect. And you can use multiple different things. You can try different things, but let your body, let your energy guide you, because you know you better than anybody else. And that is the true place that I believe that we begin protecting ourselves, is from the inside out. And if you guys, like, honestly, I've been an awakened empath for probably 3 years now, and I still get a lot of questions about, you know, somebody was driving home or driving to somewhere the other day, and she pulled over on the side of the road because her face was tingling because she had been doing so much meditation work and coming out of her body. And she's like, Tamara, I can't, like, my nose is tingling, like things are going on, because everything is heightened when we first come into this gift. And it was like, okay, this is normal, but you got to ground back in your body when you've been doing things like meditation more in the beginning. And so we had to talk about all those kinds of things. So if you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at tamaraarnold.ca, tamara@tamaraarnold.ca, I should say, and definitely ask me anything that's going on. I've been through it. I use it in my business. It is my superpower. I truly believe that anytime we have something that is so profound and so special and so incredible, it is like our superpower, and it makes us more capable of shifting and changing the world at a vibrational level. And the other thing is if you want to continue the conversation, I do have a newsletter. It's called Soulful Saturday Musings, where I share exactly what I'm thinking and feeling with my gift in the moment as it's happening. I mean, it's pretty vulnerable. And so you can sign up for the newsletter as well. And right now, when you do sign up for the newsletter, you will get a copy of The Magical Business Method, which was my second book and really helps you understand the 7 floors of your energetic house, which is your chakras, and how you can keep them clear to allow even more magic to happen in your business. And so that's a free gift right now if you want to just sign up for the newsletter. But I really, really love you guys, and I hope that you took some really incredible information from this protection podcast. And if you want to share anything that you receive from this, or how much you love the podcast, because I really like positivity, you can tag me on all social media at Tamara Arnold Author, and let's start a conversation there as well. And it's a beautiful thing to be gifted. And I always wanted to be in Harry Potter, and I truly believe I live a life in which I am. So have your magical Monday, and we will talk soon.